Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Garlick and I'm here with Lieutenant Ronnie Murray, and this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Ronnie.
Uncle John.
It's good to
see you. Again,
Again.
it's good to see you.
The
How
king
you
of Pleasant Valley.
Well, some would say the mayor, but sure.
The mayor of Pleasant Valley. Some would say that.
Some would.
Some
like
would.
me and maybe one or two other friends.
Oh. One of these days you'll get Pleasant Valley broken up too. Maybe not.
I hope
so
not.
Let's look at the count. There it is. You guys did great. What'd you do?
We got 4 more. Now we got 5,030. That's awesome. That's all because of the citizens of Calhoun County.
It is. The citizens are helping you out in all kinds of ways, and there's one way they really need to help you out, right?
Yeah, if you guys have drug tips or anything like that that you need to call in, call 256-236-6600. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. If you have a place that you think suspicious activity is going on, a lot of traffic, just let us know. We have a really good narcotics team. We'd love to help everybody.
Well, people are out there wandering around.
They
going to various places and parks and parking lots, and they
it's
might
warm
see
outside.
Yep.
There's a lot of people outside when it's warm. So
it's the old saying: if you see something, say something, and call the sheriff's office.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. We want to help.
Yeah, and we're here because we have lots of information to impart to our viewers. So stay tuned for the first half of our lineup and come back for a really exciting guest here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Welcome to the first half of our lineup here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. This half brought to you by Speedy Bail Bonds, located at 1531 Noble Street in Anniston. Their number, 256-235-9090. And first up in this half of the lineup, Chase Clanton. Mr. Clanton, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property third, attempted burglary third, possession of a controlled substance, and breaking and entering of a vehicle. This is Tiffany Bovard. Miss Bovard, last known to be living in Jacksonville. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. And take a look at Joshua Haney. Mr. Haney, last known to be living in Ohatchee. He's wanted for failure to appear on impersonating a peace officer. Certain persons prohibited to have possession of a pistol. And meet Lamont Bagley. Mr. Bagley, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on certain persons forbidden to possess a pistol. And this is Jennifer Hill. Miss Hill, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for failure to appear in obstruction of justice by using a false identity. And meet James Hay. Mr. Hay, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. This is Miranda Trantham. Miss Trantham, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for failure to appear on breaking and entering of a vehicle. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. If you have any information on these folks, please give Crime Stoppers a call. That number, 1-833-251-7867. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup that you might know where they are. And if you do, call Crime Stoppers, call the Sheriff's Office, call Ronnie Murray. You call, he hauls. We're here with Lori Floyd, my old friend Lori Floyd.
Yes.
Of The Right Place, Executive Director of The Right Place.
Yes.
Now you guys have been busy. Well, tell our viewers what The Right Place does.
We do supportive services for low-income families and the homeless population. We try to help them in any way we can, with our final goal being housing.
That's awesome.
So.
That's it. Housing, rehousing, all good stuff.
Yeah.
So fairly recently, sometime in the last 3 or 4 months, we did a homeless count.
We did.
Right, which was undoubtedly inhibited by COVID or whatever, because it came out really low.
It did. It's been a challenge the last couple of times we've done it. Our numbers were lower this time. It's hard to get a good number when you're looking at, we have 24 hours. So if someone is able to stay with someone for a night, they don't get counted. If they are in the hospital, if there is a warming station open, there's lots of things that kind of play into that. It's always in January. It's always the last 2 weeks of January. Okay. So our numbers are kind of low in those areas. We know pretty much what our chronically homeless looks like. We see them on a regular basis. Those are kind of what we target at The Right Place. We want to figure out what we can do to change that pattern and help them get back into society, kind of become members of society.
So what is your anecdotal count tell you? How many do we really think we have?
I would say probably our chronically homeless, the ones that have been on the street for more than, in some cases, more than 10 years, we're looking at about 60 in the immediate area. An overall count, I would say we're probably around 200 at any given time in Calhoun County.
See, and that seems low for me. I would have pegged it at about 400.
I
Yeah.
would have thought it would have been higher as well.
Yeah. And you know, statistics for years have always said that any homeless population, about a third of them are mentally ill. But my experience would be almost the opposite. 2/3 would be mentally ill. What do you think?
I think a lot of times when they've been on the street for a long period of time, they start struggling with mental illness, either in the form of depression or anxiety. I mean, think about if you have to find a place every night to sleep, a lot of times they're not getting a good night's sleep. And I don't know about you, but if I go for more than a day or two without getting a good night's sleep, I become very anxious. I'm grumpy. I have more encounters with other people. You know, it's that kind of thought. Are they diagnosed with a true mental illness? Maybe not, but are they struggling with signs of mental illness? Probably so.
Well, yeah, and there's a difference between severe mental illness and just general mental illness.
Exactly.
And sleep deprivation psychosis is a real thing.
Absolutely.
Ronnie dealt with one of those guys
We did.
during the tornadoes, right?
2011.
Yeah.
I never want to do that again.
He was a
Yeah.
big dude.
I really hope he's doing well, though. He actually had a heart of gold on him, so
Yeah, he was a perfectly fine
Yeah.
person, and he just didn't sleep for 3 nights.
yeah.
In psychosis, yeah.
Well, and we've had several people who have come in. I can remember one lady in particular. She came in, she had been scared because she didn't know where she could stay that was safe, so she'd just been walking the streets for several days. I couldn't even get anything out of her. She couldn't really communicate with me, her name. There were a lot of things that were going on she was just panicking. And I made a pallet for her in the office and told her, you will be safe here. I want you to sleep for a little while. She slept for about 3 hours, and when she got up, she and I were able to kind of work through what she was worried about, what we could do to help her. So it's all about opportunity, I think.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we want to do at the right place. We want to give them that opportunity to become citizens again, to get back into society.
Now, do you guys have drug counseling and things like that there as well for the homeless that may be hooked on drugs?
We have connections to resources, and we will definitely help them through that process. We don't offer actual counseling at the office for drug treatment because there are other people in the community that do it well. So we're not trying to get into that environment, but we will make referrals. We will help them get to where they need to be.
That's awesome.
And kind of encourage too. That's part of making that relationship, is encouraging them to use those resources.
And we have a lot of homeless that we can identify in the jail, right?
We can.
Yes.
So, do you guys work with our jail to see, get referrals from folks that we're getting out that we know are going to end up homeless?
I have
Okay.
several times, especially when we had some rapid rehousing money. We worked with some of the drug programs in the area to kind of transition them out and into their own housing so that they're not just going back onto the street. I've gone to court with several of our homeless clients when they've gotten arrested and needed kind of an advocate to be there to help them through the processes. So I'm actually going on Wednesday to court. So we try to do whatever we can to kind of ease that burden and help them get them off the street or keep them off the street if we've gotten them off. So.
Well, you know, identifying people that are homeless and figuring out what might help them find a home and filling in all the blanks, right, keeps them safe, healthy, and perhaps even out of jail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what the right place does. They kind of fill in the gaps. And we're going to take a break here in just a couple of seconds, and then you can come back and tell us about the program you're working on and perhaps the big dream
Yes. Sounds
that Ronnie has and you have.
good. Yeah.
But stay with us, because we'll be right back with the second half of the lineup, and we'll be back for more conversation with Lori here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Welcome to the second half of our lineup. This half brought to you by A1 Freedom Bail Bonding. A1 Freedom Bail Bonding, located at 32 4 Mile Church Road in Anniston. Their phone number, 256-236-7888. And first up this half, Rocky Lovell. Mr. Lovell, last known to be living in Oxford, he's wanted for a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. And meet Brooklyn Yates. Miss Yates, last known to be living in Oxford, she's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. And we'd like you to have a look at Latisse Davis. Miss Davis, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for failure to appear for possession of a controlled substance. And this is Jeffrey Russell. Mr. Russell, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted for failure to appear for possession of a controlled substance. And have a look at J. Dooley Lacey. Mr. Lacey, last known to be living in Springs, Alabama. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a forged instrument. And this is Sherry Hollis. Miss Hollis, last known to be living in Ohatchee. She's wanted for possession of a controlled substance ×2 and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you have any information on these folks, please call Crime Stoppers. That number 1-833-251-7867. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup. And if you did, call Ronnie. You call. He hauls.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And don't forget calling in tips about narcotics. And we are here with Lori Sawyer, Executive Director of The Right Place, working within Calhoun. Is it just Calhoun County that you work within? Or?
We actually cover other areas. It depends on where our funding sources are. So we've done some in Etowah County. We do some in Calhoun County. Just depends on where we get resources.
The Right Place, a networking and resource service providing nonprofit for the homeless community. Mm-hmm. Right. So when we took the break, we were talking about a bunch of factual details, but you have a program you're trying to get together.
I do.
So tell us about that.
We're actually hoping to open a day program so that our homeless clients are not just kind of out on the street all day. We want to be able to provide a place where they can become citizens again, allow citizens to come and interact with our homeless population. We want to do art, we want to do music, we want to do things that kind of give them hope and encouragement to get back into society and kind of break that cycle of where they've kind of given up. And that's really what it boils down to, a lot of them. When they've been on the streets for so long, they really don't think that they deserve the opportunity or that they're going to get that opportunity. So we want to have a place where they can kind of be human again.
See, and that's Maslow's hierarchy, Ronnie. You know Maslow, he says you need food, shelter, and clothing,
Yes.
safety and security, and then love and acceptance to self-actualize. And so homeless folks, they're struggling for food, shelter, and clothing.
Absolutely.
They are.
So giving them a place where they can go and kind of build back some of that community helps all of that.
We want it to be an open place where they don't feel like they have to check in or they have to show their ID or to do whatever it is that they have to do normally to get services. We want you to just be able to walk in and enjoy the environment and enjoy the opportunity. A lot of them have talents that we don't even know. We don't even get the opportunity to see. And we want to give them that opportunity to share their talents and to enjoy life again.
Sure. And you know, we don't, now correct me if I'm wrong, but when Salvation Army closed, we lost our shelter, right? Is there not a shelter?
Yeah, the only thing that we have now is a faith-based shelter, and it comes with its own restrictions. So we,
Who is that?
Servants of Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Where's
yeah.
that located?
Father Murphy. What's his name? Chris. Anyway, I can't remember his name. That's too bad.
Where's that located?
It's out Blue Mountain. the end
Okay.
of Blue
Yeah,
Mountain.
Blue Mountain area.
It's out of the city limits.
Yeah, and it comes with, I think you have to have some kind of check, and they'll take you for a couple nights, and then
Yeah.
it's your typical.
It's not low
Okay.
barrier by any means. That we need something that is free and
That's the word, low barrier.
low barrier.
It has a barrier.
Yes.
Yeah, so we need something with no barrier.
Yes.
The jail has no barrier.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
But that's
right.
a terrible place
Yes.
for the homeless people to go.
Well, and you know, a lot of times I think that's how they end up. They're trespassing because they're in an abandoned building because
Sure.
that's what they have to offer. We're not giving them really an opportunity to get out of this cycle.
Well, and you know, Ronnie knows this as well as I do, that if society fails to correct a problem, law enforcement is forced to deal with it.
Yeah.
So we house
absolutely.
homeless, mentally ill, you name it, they end up in the jail because the rest of society doesn't do anything to solve that problem.
Right. And we don't want to accept that. We want to make that change. And so that's kind of our goal, is to make people understand jail should not be the solution for someone who's homeless.
No, jail is not a solution for really anything.
Right.
No.
It's corrections is kind of a fallacy. We don't correct anything. We're negative consequences is what we are, and we hope that works.
Right.
So maybe you tell people how they get to the right place and where it is and how they can contact you. Because
Sure.
Ronnie doesn't even know.
Oh, you should
I think
know.
I'm pretty sure I've spoken to her on the phone a few times.
Yes,
Well,
I
it doesn't
think
tell
so.
you where they are, though. Do you know where they are?
In Anniston.
That's good. That's close.
There you go.
We're at 105 West 15th Street. We're right across the street from Interfaith Ministries. We're right up the street from the Soup Bowl. We're kind of all in a little community together, trying to help those in our community that are struggling. So we're in actually the old fellowship building that was the First Baptist Church.
Right.
So that's where we're located. How you can help, I actually was doing some numbers the other day, and I thought this was very interesting. For all of our coffee lovers, those that use those places like Starbucks and other places, you can provide 3 snack bags for our homeless population for the price of 1 of your coffees.
So how do we do that?
You can either make a donation to the organization we have many things through Facebook. You can email us, you can drop by or just mail us a check if you wish.
So how do people do that? So tell us where your Facebook page and all that stuff is.
Okay, so we are The Right Place of Anniston is our Facebook page. And you can click on, there's a donate button on there that you can make a donation. You can always mail a check to the office, make it to The Right Place, and that's P.O. Box 1061 in Anniston, 36202. Or you can call me, and I'll be glad to make a contact or do whatever we can. But our snack bags, we tried to narrow them down to necessity. So it has proteins, it has fruit, it has all different kinds of things, including a water that will allow them to have all of that, down to $1.89 is a price for a snack bag.
Wow, that's very good.
So we try to make it where it's affordable and we can help as many people as we can, but we're always looking for assistance in that. So when we were doing our comparison, it's like, that's very interesting. So if you give up 1 trip to get your favorite latte a week, you can help 3 people on the street.
Or if you're going to D.C., you can spend $6 on a cup of coffee and get 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a break. Lori, we thank you for being with us. Please, if you're the right place helping the homeless in Calhoun County, if you are in need or you know somebody who is, contact the right place, whatever that phone number was. But contact them. And we thank you. We're going to be right back with the Crime Stoppers portion of our show and Ronnie's Crazy Criminal. Stay with us. And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to help us on the following cases. First up, between June 23rd and June 24th, a home on Vineyard Road in Alexandria was burglarized. They got away with a semi-automatic Benelli 12-gauge shotgun, a Remington 870, and a 1930s to 1940s 22 caliber rifle, along with some miscellaneous jewelry. And then sometime on May 16th, a Kubota 54-inch zero-turn lawnmower was stolen from DeArmonville Road in Anniston. And that's it for the Crime Stoppers cases this week. If you have any information about these cases, please call Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-833-251-7867.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Crazy for feelings. Ronnie,
Hi. Keep singing, though.
No, it's
That's
crazy
what we're here for, to hear
No,
you.
you're not here to hear me sing. You're here to talk about the crazy date you had. No, I'm sorry. What do you got? Tell me all about it.
So, the lady you see here, Miss Sharon Carr.
Sharon Carr.
Yeah, she was caught orange-handed breaking into a house.
Orange-handed?
Orange-handed. She tore the screen off of a house, went in through the window, decided to help herself to a bottle of water and a bag of Cheetos. The lady and her son was inside. Police get there, see the bag of Cheetos laying there. She steps out of the shadows, and they caught her orange-handed with Cheeto dust on her fingertips and in her teeth.
Wow. Cheeto dust.
Yes, Cheetos.
So the Cheetos got her sent off.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be, where was that?
New York.
New York State, no doubt, because they eat a lot of Cheetos up there.
Yeah.
They do. It's the Cheeto capital of the world, New York State.
I won't eat them anymore.
No?
Not after this.
Because you'll have Cheeto dust on your hands.
Yes.
So what would be that charge? Was that breaking in?
It's burglary first.
Burglary
Burglary
first.
first
A
up there.
felony because you
Yes.
wanted Cheetos.
Felony for Cheetos and a bottle of water.
Oh my goodness. Well, Ronnie, we want to remind people to call in their drug-based tips, right?
Yeah, anybody that has anything going on that, even if it's just an individual that you think might be selling and or purchasing narcotics, to let us know. We're here to help. So
There to help. So call the Sheriff's Office, 236-6600, and come back again next week so we can see you here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted, but not in the lineup.